Welcome back to the Yaffee program. I got to read some text messages here on our text line. Got to wrap up some things before we get to the rewind. But, I was asking people the question of the day. They were promoting yesterday, Republicans were anyway, that because of Trump's tax cuts, people will see a larger refund. Yesterday was the deadline to pay your taxes, of course. So some people were weighing in on that. We also had during What's Trending, Walker had brought up a Grateful Dead app called Play Dead where you get a lot of free music and stuff. And someone texted this, and I feel like this was a little condescending toward me. I don't understand why, but it said free content creates more followers creates more advertisers, which creates more money. Surely you know that, Yaffee. I don't know if he really meant it in that tone. I know. I do know that. That's why I asked Walker during What's Trending if there were ads. That's literally why I asked that question. I said that. Are there more ads? Because I figured it's either you have to pay for the app or there are ads. I said that. Anyway, I wanted to... we also talked about store brands because I guess Walmart is revamping their Great Value store brand, at least the branding itself. One person said, did you know about 75% of store brands come from the same manufacturer? I did know that. Yeah, that's why I don't mind getting a lot of store brands, but it depends. Even if it comes from the same manufacturer, maybe it's not as good. I don't know. By the way, I was trying to look up because there was a story about how I guess Democrat states still tax their overtime pay on the state level. And I read that story from Fox, and I was thinking, I'm pretty sure Republican states do that too, which isn't good. And Alabama was one, but I did finally find it here where, yes, we did pass a law through the legislature. I knew it was going through. James Lomax, one of our local state reps, put it forward. But, yeah, we did pass a law to get rid of that, which is so crazy because we passed a law to not tax overtime. And it was actually a Democrat, Anthony Daniels, who pushed to keep that in place. But we didn't keep it in place. We had the grocery tax reduction instead. But then Trump says no tax on overtime. So this year we go back to not taxing overtime. To a certain limit, of course. But yeah, it said Alabama lawmakers passed a bill to save taxpayers money in two ways: a new deduction for the state income taxes and a 2-month suspension of the state sales tax on food. So you can now deduct your overtime taxes up to $1,000. So it's not a complete tax cut, but there you go. There you go. So I thought there was something like that. All right, let's end the show like we usually do. We have the Yaffee program rewind. All right, that time of the show where I remind you, if you missed any of it live, the podcast is up on the website, WVNN.com. Also, anywhere you get your podcasts, SoundCloud. Some people still use that, I guess, but that's up there. Podbean is one. I mean, wherever. iHeartRadio or the WVNN app. We started the show today talking about the latest in Iran. Some of the markets are optimistic. Maybe we're close to a deal. There actually is some breaking news on that as well. This has to do with more with Lebanon, which is related, though. But Israel and Lebanon agreed to a 10-day ceasefire. That's according to Trump. Trump said this on Truth Social. Said, I just had excellent conversations with the highly respected president of Lebanon and prime minister of Israel. These two leaders have agreed that in order to achieve peace between their countries, they will formally begin a 10-day ceasefire at 5 p.m. So there's the latest on that. Now, I know Pete Hegseth as well, Secretary of War, had an update on the war itself in Iran. Go ahead and play the Pete Hegseth cut for me, Walker.
You like to say publicly, Iran, that you control the Strait of Hormuz, but you don't have a navy or real domain awareness. You can't control anything. The United States Navy controls the traffic going in and out of the strait because we have real assets and real capabilities. And we're doing this blockade, performing it with less than 10% of America's naval power. I pray you choose a deal which is within your grasp for the betterment of your people and for the betterment of the world.
So there you go. We talked about the latest in Iran at the beginning of the show. If you missed it, the podcast of that segment is up. Outside the Alabama bullet points, the top stories from around the state, which led to my question of the day. Did you receive a larger tax refund this year? That's because the GOP delegation in Alabama really promoted tax savings this year because of the Trump tax cuts. So I had that in the bullet points. Then I talked about Tommy Tuberville promising that if he becomes governor, he's going to really crack down on crime, especially in Montgomery, but other cities as well. So go ahead if you can, Walker. Play a Tuberville cut one for me.
Yeah, we're working on that as we speak. It's not just Montgomery now. We got other cities in the state that are just as dangerous. It's just not as publicized. But I'm not going to allow, once I'm governor, if I'm lucky enough to be elected, I'm not going to allow the people of the state of Alabama to live in a war zone or live in unsafe neighborhoods if we can help it. Now, a lot of them have got to a point now, it's going to be very, very hard, but we're going to give it good old college try, and we're going to put more people intact. We're going to give more people authority. We're going to go after these corrupt judges that when these people are arrested, they go through the front door and let them out the back door. That's going to be over with. And, at the end of the day, we have got to do what's right for the people of the state of Alabama.
So there you go, and I agree with that. Where there's a will, there is a way, basically. We can learn from Memphis. It really worked in Memphis, so we got to do the same thing in Montgomery, learn from what Tennessee did. So we talked about that. The podcast of that segment is up on the website. We talked about the tax day thing. Trump had a good comment on that as well. Go ahead and play Tuberville did, excuse me. Go ahead and play cut 5 of Tuberville.
And by the way, this is celebration day up here because this is tax day, because all these bureaucrats up here are just fired up about y'all sending y'all's tax money up here where they can steal it and do whatever with it. And
go ahead and stop it right there, Walker. I just wanted to play that cut. So we talked about that. We had Christopher Reed on earlier in the show. That interview was up as well. The podcast of it talking about Tennessee changing Pride Month to Nuclear Family Month, actually. So we discussed that. We had what's trending, a lot of your text messages. So if you missed any of the show live, the podcast is up anywhere you get your podcasts or at WVNN.com. Thanks to Walker for producing. And I'll be back tomorrow at the same time. See you then.
You're listening to Yaffee on WVNN.
Hey, football fans. Still a legend, Jerome Bettis here. When I think about football in Pittsburgh, I think about tradition, hard work, and moments that last forever. It's a place where the love of the game brings people together. And for the first time ever, the NFL Draft comes to the Steel City. Be there for 3 days of football, and the moment draft dreams are realized. The 2026 NFL Draft, presented by Bud Light, April 23rd to the 25th. Register for free entry at NFL.com/draft access.
Hey there, I'm Paula Pan. I help people make the smartest money decisions possible.
Joe, you know what's been great about being a saver?
More money in the bank.
And that money over the past couple of years has made a pretty good yield. Pre-pandemic, money was making 0. Now it's actually making something, but that's starting to go down, down, down.
I love how we can play the fact that inflation's been really high as a positive. But if you're a saver, you know what that means? Cha-ching.
Silver lining, Joe, silver lining.
Afford anything. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Full Send Golf.
You guys know how much I really, really love golf, and I think every week would be dope to post on the Golf Channel. I want to get a lot of guests on here.
Salim's going to take lead. I'm down to be in it. It's not really work to play golf.
Join the party on the golf course.
I was like, let's go to the range.
Oh.
So what are we putting on it?
We said 10K, right?
10K?
All right. We probably bet more than all the other golf channels, right?
10K,
9 holes. Those guys bet for like cookies.
I feel like I'm going to shank it.
This guy's been trading like a Navy SEAL when it comes to golf.
I'm very, very excited. You excited?
Yeah.
Full Send Golf. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.